Your pothos is alive. You've kept it alive for 2 years. You've watered it, moved it once when it looked sad, maybe trimmed a yellow leaf or two. And you've decided this means you're a plant person now. But here's the thing. Alive is the floor, not the ceiling. There's a version of your plant that exists in the same pot, in the same window, on the same shelf, and it looks like an entirely different species. Bigger leaves, full, dense growth, new stems pushing out faster than you can track them. That's not a different cultivar. That's not a greenhouse. That's the same pothos you already have, just finally being given what it actually needs. And the gap between where yours is now and where it could be? Almost entirely fixable. Let's talk about what you've actually been doing to it. The first thing most people get wrong is the pot. Specifically, going too big. And I understand the logic. More soil, more room to grow, bigger plant. Feels right. It's wrong. Pothos roots need to explore and find the edges of a container before the plant really commits to above-ground growth. Put a young pothos in a huge pot with standard potting mix, and you've created a slow-draining, oxygen-poor environment where the roots sit in damp soil they can't navigate fast enough. Standard potting mix in a big pot is like putting on a wet jumper and never taking it off. The roots are cold, waterlogged, and chronically oxygen-starved. They stop feeding the plant efficiently. The leaves stay small. The stems stay sparse. You think the plant is lazy. The plant is drowning, slowly, in a pot you chose out of enthusiasm. The fix is genuinely simple. Go one size up from the root ball, not three. Use a free draining mix, standard potting compost cut with perlite, roughly 70-30, so water moves through instead of collecting. And check for drainage holes before you do anything else. If water can't leave, roots can't breathe. That's it. That's the whole foundation. Now, if you're still here and you haven't already gone to repot your pothos into something more sensible, hit subscribe. We go this specific every single week. Right, pot sorted. Now let's talk about what's happening above the soil, because this is where most people leave serious growth on the table. Every pothos stem is covered in nodes, those little brownish nubs that appear between the leaf petioles and the main stem. Nodes are the plant's growth points. They're where new roots emerge, where new leaves push out, where everything happens. Most people treat trailing stems as decoration. They're actually an untapped propagation resource hanging off your shelf doing absolutely nothing. Here's what you do. Take one of those long trailing stems, the leggy, sparse one with too much stem between the leaves, and instead of cutting it, pin it. Lay it flat across the soil in the pot. Press a node down into the surface. Use a bobby pin, a bent piece of wire, a small stone. Anything that keeps the node in contact with the soil. That's the whole technique. What happens next is the plant reads that soil contact as a rooting cue. Within a few weeks, that node will push out roots. Then, a new stem. Then a leaf. You've just triggered a brand new growing point from a stem that was previously doing nothing but draping aesthetically over the edge of your IKEA shelf. Do this with 3 or 4 trailing stems, and your pot goes from having 1 or 2 active growth points to having 5 or 6. The density change is real. The fullness people assume requires years of patient waiting. It's often just this: pinning, nodes, soil contact. You're not waiting for the plant to decide to grow. You're giving it permission. And look, once you understand nodes, cuttings start making more sense too. A single node cutting, 1 leaf, a few centimeters of stem, 1 node is a complete plant. Put it in water, or better yet, moist perlite, and you'll see roots in 4 to 5 weeks. If it's taking longer, check the light before you check anything else. Low light slows rooting significantly. Once it's rooted, plant it back into the mother pot. More plants from the same plant, same pot, denser growth, which feels almost too easy once you've done it once. Before we move on, drop a comment and tell me, where is your pothos right now? And how much sky can it actually see from that spot? Because I'm guessing the answer is less than you think. This brings us to light. And I want to be direct about this because the low light reputation of pothos has caused more problems than it's solved. Low light tolerant means it won't die. It does not mean it's happy. There's a real difference between a pothos that's tolerating its conditions and one that's genuinely thriving. And the difference shows up in the leaves. Small leaves, pale, slow growth, long stretches of stem between each leaf. That's a plant surviving on insufficient light. It's not injured. it's not dying. But it is limiting its own growth to match its available energy. And you will never see the leaf size and stem density you're looking for from a corner that doesn't get direct sky view for any part of the day. The sky test is useful here. Put your face where the plant's crown sits. How much open sky can you see? Not light reflected off walls. Not a bright room. Actual sky? Even north-facing windows with a clear sky view give more usable light than most people assume. A few feet back from a bright window, in a room with good ambient light, is often fine. A corner 6 feet from the nearest window, behind furniture, is genuinely not enough for growth. It's enough for survival. Different things. On direct sun, it's not a hard no. A pothos in bright morning sun, east-facing, for 2 or 3 hours? Often fine and actively beneficial. The caution is around intense afternoon sun and hot glass, which can bleach the leaves. But the standard advice to keep pothos permanently out of all direct light has honestly undersold what these plants can handle. Experiment. Watch what the leaves tell you. Pale patches and yellowing at the edges mean too much. Dark green and big, new leaves, pushing out fast, mean keep going. Right. Now, the climbing pole. I know it looks ugly. I know it's the aesthetic compromise no one wants to make. I'm telling you to make it anyway, and here's why. Vertical growth is how a pothos evolved to grow. In the wild, these plants climb tree trunks, sending out aerial roots that grip and anchor as they go. Those aerial roots aren't just structural, they're active. They absorb moisture and nutrients from whatever surface they're latched onto. A moist moss pole or a coir pole gives them a medium to grip, a secondary uptake system, and here's the one that gets me every time. It triggers the plant to grow larger leaves. The new leaves coming in after she started climbing were genuinely twice the size of the ones at the bottom of the same stem. Same plant, same pot, same window, just a pole. The biology behind it is real. Vertical growth activates a maturation response in pothos, the same one that produces those big split leaves in wild specimens. Your trailing pothos isn't immature because it's young. It's immature because it's never had anything to climb. Give it something to climb, and it will start behaving like a completely different plant. One critical note: if you're growing a bushy trailing pothos and rotating it for even light, keep doing that. But if you've added a moss pole and it's climbing, stop. Do not rotate a climbing pothos. The aerial roots orient themselves to the pole. Every time you rotate, you break that contact and slow down the growth you're trying to encourage. Pick a position and commit. Fertilizer. Quick. Because people overcomplicate it. Diluted liquid fertilizer with every water during the growing season. Something labeled for houseplants with a balanced NPK ratio. And you're done. Fertilizer is not the growth accelerator people think it is. Light is the growth driver. Fertilizer keeps the engine healthy. Without adequate light, you can feed your pothos gold standard nutrients every week and see very little change. Get the light right first, then feed consistently and don't overthink it. The overwatering trap is last because it's probably the most fixable mistake in the room right now. Saturated soil means the air pockets in the root zone fill with water. Roots need oxygen. Without it, nutrient uptake shuts down. The plant looks limp, the leaves go pale, and you water it more because you think it's thirsty. 2 inches into the soil before every water. Dry? Water? Damp? Wait, that's the system. It's not complicated, it's just the thing between you and a plant that's actually growing. Here's what I want you to take from this. Your pothos isn't lazy. It isn't slow. It's been sitting there with a biology designed for explosive, lush, vigorous growth. And a series of small decisions have been quietly capping it. The pot, the soil, the light, the direction of growth. None of it is dramatic. All of it is fixable. Go look at your plant. Look at it differently. Then come back and tell me what you found.